Two women own the same Birkin. Same Togo leather, same hardware, same stitch. One paid $12,000 and waited 4 years. The other paid $1,800 and got hers in a FedEx box. The sales associate at the Hermès boutique can't tell them apart. So today I'm breaking down the 6 levels of Hermès counterfeit, from Canal Street to the workshop run by ex-Hermès employees. By the end, you'll see what Hermès is actually protecting, and it isn't the leather. Level 1. The street fake. $20 to $100. Vinyl, polyurethane, a stamped H the size of a fist. The seam is glued. The hardware is plastic painted brass. Birkin is spelled correctly on the bag and misspelled on the dust bag. You're a tourist on Canal Street. The vendor says 60. You say 30. He shrugs and hands you the bag in a black plastic bag inside another black plastic bag. You walk 3 blocks before you check it. You both wink. Nobody believed it was real for a second. This is the tier where everybody agrees. The vendor knows it's fake. You know it's fake. The cop walking past knows it's fake. You're not buying a handbag. You're buying the logo. The bag is an I Heart NY t-shirt with handles. Worth noting, Hermes still litigates this tier. Aggressively. In 2012, they won a $100 million judgment against a network of websites selling exactly this kind of fake. Not because the bags threaten the brand, because the trademark needs defending or it stops being a trademark. Level 2. The online dupe. 80 to a few $100s. DH-Gate, AliExpress, Wish. Now the bag aspires. The leather is real leather. Split grain, low grade, but real. The stitching is machine done in the right pattern. The hardware is metal, not plastic. December 2024. A third-party seller on Walmart's website lists a bag called The Workin', branded Camugo, for $80. Same shape, same handles, same buckle silhouette. It goes viral. TikTok unboxings, late-night jokes, the works. Hermes doesn't sue. Walmart pulls the listings, the factory moves on. Here's what's interesting about this tier. Scroll through the listings and you'll see the counterfeit industry has its own grading system. AAA, 5A, 1 to 1. Read it back. None of those mean anything. There is no standard. Some guy in Guangzhou decided last Tuesday that this batch deserves an extra A. The grades were invented by counterfeiters. They serve the same function as Hermes leather grades. They create a hierarchy where the only authority is the seller's word. The counterfeiters didn't copy the bag. They copied the system. Level 3. The factory tier, the wholesale layer. A few $100s to $1,000. We're now in mainland China in a factory that makes real handbags for a name brand you've heard of during the day, and bags like this at night. Same machines, same workers. Day shift packs orders for the legitimate brand. Night shift runs the other line. Different stamp on the leather, different label sewn into the lining. Same hands on both. Brand protection investigators have a name for this. The standard model. The best mid-tier counterfeits don't come from underground sweatshops. They come from factories running legitimate operations during business hours. The buyer at this level is rarely the end user. It's the reseller, the boutique owner in a tourist city, the eBay long con seller, the Instagram dropshipper running an account that posts authentic luxury at wholesale prices. They're buying 10 of these at a time and pocketing the spread. The end user, the woman wearing the bag at brunch, never sees the factory. She thinks she bought a Birkin from a private dealer in Paris. The boutique owner is the one with the WhatsApp number. Level 4. The premium replica. $1,500 to $3,500. At this tier, you don't shop. You're vouched in. The dealers operate through encrypted messaging. WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal. You hear about a dealer through a friend who has one of her bags. You get added to a group. The group has a few hundred members. In a 2025 Wall Street Journal investigation called Inside the Shadowy Lucrative Business of Super Fake Handbags, an investigator at Core Search said he was tracking a WhatsApp group that charged its members $98 a month just for access to the photos. A dealer who calls herself Heidi told the same paper that a counterfeit Birkin 25 in Togo leather from a factory she called Hidden Star costs $1,800. A crocodile fake starts at $4,000. The real one starts above $50,000. You message her, she sends back a photo of the bag with today's date on a note card. You wire payment. It arrives in a FedEx box inside a Hermes dust bag with a receipt printed on Hermes letterhead. None of it is genuine. Now stop. Look at where we are. We climbed 4 tiers of counterfeit bags, each better than the last. And Hermes, the most aggressive luxury house in the world on intellectual property, the company that took an artist named Mason Rothschild to trial over JPEGs of a Birkin, has done almost nothing about the middle of this market. The 2012 lawsuit was against websites. The 2022 Italian Supreme Court case was about the Birkin and Kelly trademark shape. The Meta Birkin trial was about NFTs. All of those cases were about the logo, the silhouette, the name. They were not about the factories. The factories making the $1,500 super fakes are still operating. The WhatsApp dealers are still in business. Why? Because litigating against an $1,800 Birkin replica, really litigating, proving it in court, would require Hermes to argue that the bag is so close to the original that consumers can't tell the difference, which is the marketing copy the counterfeiters already use. There is no MBA case study where the right answer is sue your most successful imitators in a way that proves they're good. Hermes does not do that. What Hermes does instead is protect the only thing that can't be copied: the waitlist, the relationship, the years a real Birkin buyer spends building a purchase history before the sales associate even brings out the catalog. The bag can come out of a factory. The list cannot. Keep that in mind. The last two levels of this ladder don't look like factories. They look like workshops, and the people inside them used to wear Hermes name tags. If this is the kind of breakdown you want more of, follow the channel. This is what I do. Level 5, the super fake. $4,000 to $8,000, sometimes more. What you're paying for at this tier is a hand-stitched bag. The leather is real Togo, real Clements, real Epsom, sourced through gray market channels that buy from the same tanneries Hermes uses, just without the contract. The hardware is brass, milled to weight, plated correctly. In a 2023 New York Times Magazine piece called Inside the Delirious Rise of Super Fake Handbags, Amy X. Wang bought several. She described the process as almost disappointingly easy: encrypted ordering, real-time customer service, branded packaging, the whole experience designed to feel like luxury because, for the buyer, it is. Here's the math that makes this tier work. The same Wall Street Journal investigation reported that Hermes pays its France-based handbag artisans $40,000 a year, including bonus. That is less than the retail price of a single crocodile Birkin. When a counterfeit factory hires an experienced leather worker out of the legitimate industry, it pays more. And the math holds. The supply of skilled hands exists because the official luxury house priced craftsmanship below craftsmanship. The leather worker who used to stitch Birkins outside Paris now stitches them in a workshop outside Guangzhou. Same hands, same technique. The only difference is who's signing the paycheck and which name gets stamped on the leather. In November 2023, federal agents executed the largest seizure of counterfeit goods in U.S. history, approximately 219,000 items. Estimated retail value of the originals, over $1 billion. The pipeline is not small. Level 6, the inside job, $10,000 and up. There is no public price list. In 2020, French prosecutors convicted a counterfeit ring that included former Hermès employees, people who had worked inside the company's ateliers, people who knew the saddle stitch in their hands, who knew which tannery produced which grade of leather. They left Hermès, they started making bags. They sold them through a private network. According to French prosecutors, some of the bags were routed through Russia. The case worked its way through the French court system for years. The convictions held. This is the only level Hermès prosecutes hard, because at every level below, counterfeit is a material claim. The stitching is wrong, the leather is wrong, the trademark is being infringed. At this level, the stitching is right. The leather is right. The hardware is right. Hold one of these next to a boutique bag from the same district. You wouldn't tell them apart. The bag in the evidence locker is identical to the bag in the boutique window down the street. The only thing making it a counterfeit is that the wrong person made it. Counterfeit has become a paperwork problem. Hermes isn't a leather house. It's a queue. If you ever buy a real Birkin, know what you're buying. The bag is the receipt. The position is the product. The 4 years are the price. If you ever buy a fake, and plenty of wealthy people do, you get the leather, the hardware, the stitch. The list, you do not get. Every one of us has been on the wrong side of an access economy at some point. Every one of us has confused the object for the entry. Two women owned the same Birkin. One paid $12,000 and waited 4 years. The other paid $1,800 and got hers in a FedEx box. In 10 years, the first woman will own 4 more bags. Her sales associate will know her dog's name. The second woman will still have the same identical bag. She will own the leather. The other woman will own the list.